I have a very important information and something of great value to share with you guys today. But before I do that, I want to appreciate some of my subscribers who have gotten in touch with me and who has patronized me. I want to say special appreciation to Mr. Tunde. He's one of my subscribers and he's from Port Harcourt. He paid for rabbit since last week, but told me to send them this week, which I actually sent to him in Port Harcourt this morning. Thank you so much for your patronage. I also want to appreciate Mr. Abu from Lagos State. He contacted me last week, made another, and his rabbit was delivered to Lagos on Saturday morning. I also want to appreciate Mr. Maurice from Benin City. Yes, his rabbit was also delivered on Saturday. So thank you guys for your patronage. I'm wishing you success. And I'm also glad that a lot of people are actually watching this channel and actually learning from the things I'm sharing, and the industry is actually growing. Thank you all for your support. Thank you for reaching out. I'm getting a lot of good feedbacks. A lot of people are reaching out to me and telling me that they are watching the video, they are learning a lot from rabbit farming. I believe the industry is actually expanding. Also, special regards to barista from Cameroon. Yes, he contacted me from Cameroon and he was telling me about the rabbit industry in Cameroon, and he was telling me the values they're getting from my video. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate you guys all. And of course, we have a lot of good information and education on rabbit farming and other agricultural businesses coming on, because actually a lot of people are also saying that they want to get information on other livestock farming business. So definitely with time, I'm going to be bringing videos on this channel that is not rabbit related. So for my rabbit people, you would have to give us the opportunity. And when you see a video that is not rabbit related, you don't have to get offended. But I want you to understand that our scope, the perspective and the audience that we are covering on this platform is actually very massive. And as a result of that, we will definitely need to spread our tentacles to other ventures of livestock business. And actually the real approach that's supposed to be for an agricultural business is actually integrated farming, where you have maybe rabbit and some other stuffs, incorporating them all together. That's how to get the best out of agricultural and livestock farming business. But so let's go into the business of today. Today I'm going to be discussing on between raising rabbits in colony, in open floor, in open space, and raising them in the cage. You understand which one is better? So many people feel and think that you can raise rabbits in open space, maybe inside your compound, or just put up some space and raise them literally on the floor where they are all together, and so on and so forth. And I've come to tell you that in my 8 years of raising rabbits in cages, I have understand that the best atmosphere for your rabbit is actually in the cage. And I've also had a reason when I started rabbit to actually differentiate these two and bring you to a very good perspective on it. I'm going to be showing you some of the major disadvantages of raising your rabbit in an open air space. When I mean an open air space, maybe it might be inside a room, might be inside your compound. Some people feel that they can just drop the rabbit, maybe like 20 rabbit, 10 rabbits inside the compound, let them be playing around and stuff like that. I'm going to be telling you why you should not raise your rabbit that way and the disadvantages that are associated with raising rabbit in an open air space like that. Number one disadvantage is that your rabbit can escape. This is not something that I came up with. This is something I've experienced, and I've seen people experience it very well. It's still happened to somebody recently. So what happened is that when rabbits are in open air space like that, you understand, even if you actually plaster all the floor of your compound, the truth of the matter is that when it starts raining and after some years of actually staying there, you will notice that some places start cracking, and then the normal floor, the floor where there is soil, start opening up. All that your rabbits need is a little opening to get in touch with the soil. They will start burrowing and burrowing into the soil. And something funny about rabbit can so dig hole that they can dig a hole from inside your compound, and they will go and open that hole outside your compound. Now the funny thing about rabbits is that the way they behave, it will follow that hole and go out and play and come back. So you will still see the rabbit around and feel that the rabbit is still around. One day the rabbit will follow that hole and go back and never come back to your compound. So you will start losing your rabbits, and if you don't pay attention to them, you will just notice that the population is decreasing till all of them are gone. And if it now become worse, if they get in touch with predators like dog or cat or any other thing, then your rabbit is gone. So that's the first disadvantage of raising them in an open air space. They cannot be the movement cannot be controlled no matter how much you try. Just a little opening around your wall, around your fence, on the ground somewhere is all that your rabbits need. They will start blowing up and they will create a bigger opening from that small opening. So that's the first disadvantage of raising your rabbit in an open air space. The second disadvantage is that it makes them vulnerable to predators. Rabbit predators includes big mouse, you know, those big cats and those big rats now, those one with long tail. Even though those one with long tail might not be able to attack the mature rabbit, they can attack the winners and babies and kids. You understand? Then another very dangerous predator to your rabbit is snake. Snake is a major predator. The cat too, they are predator. In fact, cat is both predators to your matured rabbits and your baby rabbits. Depending on the size of the cat, there are big cats that can actually attack matured rabbits. You understand? Dog is another major predator to your matured rabbit and even the young one. In fact, any size is the rabbit is a prey, dog is a predator. Sure, you understand? So, like, they can attack them at any time the opportunity comes. So when you are raising them inside the compound, anything can just find its way into your compound. Snakes can come and all, and if your rabbit are dead, then they will attack your rabbits. You understand? So it is very dangerous. In fact, this happened to somebody last week. He wasn't raising the rabbits in an open air space. Actually, he was raising them in a cage, but I think the cage got spoiled, and then he had to move them into a particular room. He left as in a room that is not currently being occupied in his house, and then he opens the door for them to move around and all that. And then he told me that he just came back from work. He actually said he used to hear them make noise overnight, and that's another thing I want to say. If you hear a rabbit makes noise overnight, and it's just at your backyard, then you should definitely check on them and know how they are doing. Now, note, most of the time when they are being managed well, when they are not in cluster or excessive overcrowding population, you understand, there is no cause for alarm. But in a situation whereby you are putting them all together, which you should know. Okay, so he said that he told me that he had them making noise overnight, but he didn't go and check on them. By the time he got there in the morning, he met 7 rabbits dead. So, and he saw some cuts, like some attack on their body. So definitely it was a predator. Whether it is snake, I don't know. Whether it is cat, I don't know. Maybe it's dog, I don't know. But I guess it was not dog, because if it was dog, you probably should hear the sound of the dog. But where I'm going is that, do you know the way rabbits are? Some animals too, when they see their predators, they start taking note of the location where they see them and start attacking them, especially in odd hours. Like, for example, cats. Most cats too will not come around the rabbit farm. When it is day, it's at night they will come. Now, when your rabbits are inside the cage, the best you can do is to walk around and see them in the cage. They cannot attack the cage. They cannot break Boko Haram net or any other kind of net you are using. You understand? But when they see the rabbits walking around on the floor, definitely it is very easy for them to just eat them and attack them. You understand? That was how he lost 7 rabbits. So they are vulnerable to predators when you raise them in open air space, when they are not caged, when their movement is not restricted. They are just so vulnerable to predators. So you don't want to lose your investment. You don't want to lose your rabbit. These are reasons why you should not raise rabbits in an open air space. Now, taking me to the next point is there will be uncontrolled mating and inbreeding. Uncontrolled mating and inbreeding. Now, I'm going to explain this. Normally, if it is inside the cage, maybe your rabbit is about to deliver, you put it in a space where it can deliver, and you put the next box there, right? And then when it is the expected delivery date, the rabbit will go into the next box most of the time and deliver there. And even if the rabbit did not deliver into the next box, it's a thing that you can come and pick the babies and put them inside the next box. Now, let me make a correction here. Some people used to say that. I've heard it from so many beginners. So many people contacting me always say this thing. They will say that they heard somewhere somebody said that if they touch a rabbit baby, the mother will not breastfeed it again. It's a big lie. That thing is a scam. That thing is the biggest lie I've had in recent time. That if they touch the rabbit baby with their bare hand, the rabbit mother will not breastfeed the baby. It's a lie. So many reasons why you might need to touch the rabbit baby. Of course, I understand that it is more healthy to use a glove, but there are circumstances where you need to rescue the rabbit baby immediately you saw it. Maybe it fell down or something or anything, and you cannot even go and wait and go and get a glove. You have to help it immediately, or else you lost it. So people say that when you touch the rabbit baby, the mother will not breastfeed it again. It's a lie. That thing is not true. I've had several times when I need to touch my rabbit baby just to be of help to them at one point or the other, and the mother still breastfeed them. So that perspective is very wrong. You know, when most beginners that get in touch with me, I realize that when they're starting a rabbit farming, they get to go and consult people who doesn't even know about rabbits. You know, some people go on the internet, and what they don't know about internet is that it's not every information you see on the internet, especially on Google, that is genuine. Some of them are site owners who are never rabbit farmers. Some of them are written by freelance writers who never reared rabbits. So they just, scrap information from the internet, goes to Wikipedia page and scrap information about rabbit and rewrite them. Doesn't mean they have a practical experience of rabbit farming. For example, now I've seen information on the internet that says that rabbits should be fed on 85 or 90% of A. If you feed the rabbit on If you feed your rabbit on 85 to 90% of A, your rabbit will not grow well, because A are dry grasses. When the grasses are dry, the nutrient content has reduced. Immediately the moisture content reduced, the same thing applies to the nutrient content. It has diminished. So is that what you are going to be feeding rabbit and expect it to grow well? It's a zero. Your rabbit will grow so slow. So these are some information that miscommunicate the reality of rabbit farming to people out there, and people read them on Google, and people believe them because it is Google, because they think Google is almighty, whereas Google is not almighty. Google is a search engine, and the people that are writing information on Google are human beings like me and you. Some of them don't know anything about rabbit farming. They went on Google, they went on Wikipedia, scrap information and come up with something just to inform you, and you receive that which they come up with and believe it. You understand? And it's not like that. So please take note of that. So now, when we give the next box to the mother, she enters, she delivers, she watch while the baby and be taking care of them inside the next box till the baby grows enough, like maybe like around 13 to 15 days, and they'll start walking out of the next box by themselves. You understand? That is what we do when the mother is about to deliver. So the mother and her baby will be in the same cage. There's no any other rabbit that is there with them, so that they will not be disturbed. And that way, the mother will be able to nurse her baby very well. You will be able to see if there's any issue, if the mother needs to be injected and so on and so forth. And you also be feeding the mother well, giving her water and so on and so forth. Now, that is how to raise rabbits under an intensive care. But in a situation whereby the rabbits are just roaming around your compound, or you put them in one space at your backyard and they are literally on the floor and they are all together, the first challenge is this. You see, when rabbits give birth to babies, they might not undergo labor stress like human beings, but it can be very stressful. I can't even count how many times I've seen rabbits giving birth to life in my presence like this. You see, it happened last 2 weeks. That was on the 1st of April. Yes, my rabbit was giving birth like this, and I was watching it. I was watching the rabbit giving birth right in front of me. What I noticed is that after they have delivery, they will go and rest for a very long time, sometimes for the next 2 hours, because of the stress. You understand? Now, that is very important. Sometimes I even put glucose inside their water to help with some strength. You understand? Or multivitamin and so on and so forth. And also get them some very good grasses, especially the leguminous grasses. The leguminous plants, rather. So where I'm going is this. That is how it ought to be. The mother should be undisturbed. The mother should not be bothered. She should be on her own, and she should be doing well. But in a situation whereby they are together and she just delivered, when they want to deliver, when they are in an open space, they will burrow into the ground, go and deliver their baby into the soil. Right? Now, when they deliver like that, they come back to meet their counterparts. The male start running after this female rabbit again. Normally, the female rabbit should be left for like 1 month to breastfeed the babies. And after breastfeeding for like 1 month, if you wean your babies at 4 weeks or 5 weeks or probably 6 weeks, after weaning them from their mother, the mother must take another next 2 weeks to rest. Because in the course of nursing the baby, she will be losing weight, she will be losing nutrients, the babies will be growing faster, and they will be growing well because of the breastfeeding. Now, you have to give her like 2 weeks to eat and nourish back her body system before you cross her again, and even sometimes deworm her, because there could be some level of infection in the process of breastfeeding the baby. You understand? Now, that is what we do under intensive care. But when you put them together like this, right from the day the female deliver, the male will start crossing her again. And the shocking thing, she can get pregnant again. So the female rabbit is not ready yet for any further crossing. She just gave birth maybe like 2 hours ago, and because she's in the midst of her colleagues, the male start crossing her again, and then she get pregnant again, and now she has to be breastfeeding the baby. She's losing nutrients, and she has to be forming the new ones in her stomach, and she's using another nutrient to grow the fetus. You understand? Now, what happened eventually when that kind of situation is going on is that there's something we call fetus reabsorption. You understand? That's a situation whereby she could no longer nourish the fetus to develop, so she will reabsorb it back into her body as nutrients into her body, so she will not deliver. And sometimes also, after she has she's done winning the babies, and she needs to take some time to rest, the male just cross her. They just cross her at any fucking opportunity. Sorry for using that word. At any opportunity that comes, they just don't. It's an indiscriminate crossing, which is very wrong. You understand? So you don't want to raise your rabbit that way, and it can lead to excessive production of their population, and also you will not have record of your rabbits, and you actually need to, if you're into rabbit farming business, you see, rabbit farming is different from rabbit farming business. If you are doing rabbit as a business venture, you need to have a record of all your stocks. So if you cannot raise them in an intensive care, if you are raising them in a free range, in a colony system, you're not going to have the record, and that will affect your business a whole lot, because for every order you are selling, especially to a breeding market, you need to provide the details of the animal. You understand? So all of that is possible under the intensive care, but in a colony system it is not possible. Another disadvantage of raising them in colony is that there is an easy spread of diseases. Most of rabbits infections are airborne, right? Most of them are airborne. So when you raise them in a system like that, it is very easy for the diseases to spread among them. You understand? Also, rabbit is not supposed to be in touch with their urine and their poo. That's exactly why we use a net system for the flooring of their cage, so that when they pass the urine and the poo, it can easily leave their own space and come below, to the lower region. So that way their environment, their cage is always neat and clean. Because rabbits are actually very neat animal, and when there is the hygiene situation of their farm is very high, then there is less vulnerability to diseases and infections. You understand? But in a situation where you kept them, is where they urinate, where they poo, and then they still move around, stepping on the urine and everything, it predisposes them to a lot of infection. You understand? You can literally even have a situation of whereby rabbits kept stepping on their poo and their urine to the point whereby they start stepping on maggots and stuff like that, which is not healthy at all. So raising them in that system is not the best way to raise them. Now, another disadvantage of raising them in colony system is there is a very high level of hostility, especially among the males. When males get to 3 to 4 months, you need to separate them. Normally, if you win your rabbit from maybe 6 weeks or maybe 4 weeks or 5 weeks, depending on you, when you win them from their mother, you can put them together for the next 3 months before you now start separating their sex. But most of the time, even at that 3 months to 4 months, especially between 3 months to 4 months, the males will not tolerate themselves. Not all males, some will, but most will not. You understand? From experience, I've realized that as the male are attaining maturity, they start becoming very hostile to one another. They don't want to contain one another. You need to start separating them to their own space. You understand? Why some might tolerate one another. I've seen some that does that, but majority of time I've also seen those that will literally attack themselves, and the males fight can be very dirty. Like they literally break and destroy each other's scrotum. You understand? Thereby rendering each other infertile. So that's how terrible they can be. Now, when you are now keeping them together in an open space, that fight is going to be brutal. You understand? That fight is going to be brutal. So even the rabbits they love being in colony. These are the disadvantages why we cannot keep them in colony as such, except when they are winners and then attaining growers, anything from 3 months to 4 months, they can. You need to start separating them. So, but from winners to growers, they can still be kept together. So, another disadvantage of keeping your rabbits in colony and open air space is there is a very low survival tendency for the kids. The survival tendency of the baby rabbit is very low. They die. The mortality rate is very high because the environment is not clean. And apart from the fact that the environment is not clean, the competition for the food that you are giving them is very high because all of them come together to come and eat. And then winners actually need their own food to themselves. And the adults are already eating it up also. And the little one they can feed on is what keep them going. So their growth rate will be slow. If they are infected, you will not know. And they can be easily infected because other adults might have some infection or issues that needs to be sorted medically, and they can still survive, while the winners cannot even survive a week with the same infection. By the time it is transferred, then the winners are already dropping dead. So literally it is not just a way to actually approach a rabbit farming business. It's not a way to approach it, because you're going to be having a lot of losses if you give it that kind of approach, and I'm sure you don't want to record losses in your farm. So that is not something to embrace. That's the basic thing I want to talk about today. So I believe you have learned 1 or 2 things from this video. Do well to click on the like button, and if you have any question, do well to drop them in the comment section. I'm going to be in the comment section to answer every of your question. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Mr. Tunde here. I sent the rabbits to Port Harcourt yesterday. The beginning of this video, like halfway, was recorded yesterday. The remaining was recorded today. So he got them this morning. So that means I sent them to Port Harcourt in the morning very early yesterday, and then he got them this morning. So they were still on the road overnight. Port Harcourt is actually very far. Like, it's very far, guys. That place is damn far. Like, I can imagine, rabbits moving overnight. But that's why we use basket. The basket is well ventilated on all sides. So even if they're spending 24 hours on the road, they're fine, they're okay. And most of the time, when they get to the destination, I just tell the customer to put a little glucose inside their water to supply them with strength and energy. So he got the rabbit this morning. I was so excited. I'm so glad too. There are some people on this channel that will reach out to me and they will still be doubting, and they'll be like, okay, if we pay you, are you going to send the animals and stuff like that? I'll be like, I don't understand. I know that Nigerians, there's a lot of scammers out there and online especially, but I think I have few people that still trust us, and they were able to get their stock. So we appreciate every one of you that still trust us, even without seeing us, to send your money, and we send the animals as we ought to. Thank you for your trust, and I'm going to bring you more value on this channel. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for staying by. Together we'll make rabbit farming a big industry. All right, I'll see you guys later in the next video. Thanks. Have a lovely day.